up here in Bridge of Orchy, which is between Tyndrum and Glencoe. It's before you get into the main area of Glencoe, and it's part of the West Highland Way. It's one of the sort of stops on that. It's a really beautiful spot, really nice river here as well, actually. Popular with kayakers, but it's pretty low at the moment. It's the one behind me. We're gonna head up Beinn Dorain today, which is the one straight behind me up there. There's a couple of peaks up there. I think Beinn Dorain is the one to the right. To the right? Is it your right? Yeah, to the right. So we're gonna head up there. Apparently it's a really good descent. I think Pete Scullion was the one that put us onto it. Me and Andrew, and I think Pierce is coming up as well. We're gonna go up and do that. Right, I know one of the last videos was a hiker bike. It was a pretty awesome one. What we focused in was the stretching part and the mobility part before we go up. And I'm totally gonna do that again today, but that's not gonna be the main focus. The main focus today is nutrition. When you go for these early morning ones, and actually to be honest, anything on this sort of spectrum, you can have like 2-3 hour climb and then sort of 20-30 minute descent. What's the best way to eat for that? Now, I'm not a big believer in the, you know, gels, bars, as much sugar as you can fit into yourself thing. I think like, I wouldn't eat like that if I was sitting at home. I don't necessarily feel like that's the best way to eat when you're out. And I also don't think that it's just not real food. It's not real food at all. So the nutritional profile, it's been designed to be a specific way in terms of your protein, etc. But it's not real food. And I think that it's like a gateway drug to just eating a lot of sugar when you're not riding. And there's a lot of peer-reviewed journals and stuff like that out there that'll back a load of this up. But a lot of it's anecdotal. It's what works for you and your body type. Unless you've gone to the expense of having DNA profiling to work out what you should eat to allow you to perform best, then it's kind of just doing things on feel. But I don't like the riding the waves of like sugar highs or insulin periods like that. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good. You crash and you eat something, you crash and you eat something. And what I've been experimenting with recently is fasted training, and that it means that, you know, I eat dinner, like I eat a big dinner. Why do I need to eat first thing in the morning? The idea that breakfast is the best, like most important meal of the day is shit. Sorry, but it's shit. So that's a breakfast cereal company thing that they're trying to get out. Don't believe it. You've eaten that big meal at night. Like, you don't need to eat again until like lunchtime, like 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. So we're out and it is 8:41. The guys are gonna get here at 9. I'm gonna do some stretching. I don't think that I need to eat, take a load of food up the hill. I'm not gonna take any food up the hill whatsoever. I'm gonna take water, that is it. Like, I'm a fairly privileged person who eats fairly well. Like, I'm not starving. I don't need to carry food with me. So that's the experiment today. No bars, nothing. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I think it should be fine. There's loads of dragonflies around, it's amazing.
Okay, a new one that we're going to chuck in because I don't think we did it last time. Getting into the bottom of a squat, forcing the knees apart, and then just doing hip circles. So you just kind of floss around and find the really tight spots in the hip. It's going to help with that fluidity in the movement on the bike, where you're looking to move around, get the knees out wide, and allow the bike to move under you. Especially on a super rocky one like this is going to be. Well, I think super rocky. We'll see. That was like 7 minutes I spent stretching there. Not a massive amount of time. I arrived a little bit early so I could do that. I think it's well worth it. Like, the other guys are going to arrive here and they're going to have been sitting in the car for an hour and a half, same as me. But I got here a little bit early so I can mobilize the joints, get out of that seated position, start to get some of the synovial fluid moving in those joints. And that's the mobility part. It's not just about stretching the muscles and the fascia, it's about getting that fluid moving in the joints, and that's really, really important. Because yeah, we're going to hike up the hill, but we're going to hike up in one pattern all the way up as well. And you want to sort of start that off with moving with freedom in the joints rather than just mechanically all the way up. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of my take on it.
I believe.
And that'll be a lack of Pierce. Where's he gone?
He died.
Oh well. This is going to be interesting on the way back down. Alright, if you noticed on the push-up this sounds a bit wrong and doesn't sound like a hope, it's going to smash one of the poles in first gear on the climb somehow.
Is that on now?
Which is worse?
I don't want my reputation ruined. Which is worse, the recording what I just did. I'll sort it out again.
Yeah, the chat isn't always the cleanest out riding with Andrew. He manages to tidy up nicely for the vlog. So, just coming up to the Bialik, or the saddle of this corrie, which has been a bit of a nightmare to climb, and some of it's definitely not rideable. But I think this view is going to be worth it.
Well, Walk Highlands said that a lot of people in bad weather get to this point and mistake this for the top.
You'd have to be pretty bad not to see that.
Apparently it's a shiter to navigate in the mist, this one.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Alright, so part way up, probably 3/4 of the way. Yeah, a few hours in now, and like I feel alert, which is one of the things that I find I don't feel when I keep eating all the way up, which is what I usually do. I feel hungry, like I definitely feel hungry, but I'm just drinking loads. It's hot, and that is definitely affecting things. But like I feel alert, I feel good, I feel ready for the descent. So far, I give it a good solid 8 out of 10. Okay, so as I said, there was, yeah, it is, yeah. I think one of the poles is gone. So I'll pop this off and see what's happened.
That's appalling. That's as dry as
Oh.
Oh, you cracked.
Cracked the hub.
Oh,
what?
shit. They're good.
Oh, the poles are fine. That's nice to see.
You can keep the free hub, buddy.
Yay. That makes me happy. Alright, I'll take the chain off. Do I have a chain?
Wait a minute. I do videos as well. This is too good.
Do I have a chain splitter with me?
What, the tool?
Yeah.
Oh god, it's such a dick to do.
No.
That.
Is that a Shimano chain? Oh, is it a Shimano chain? Oh, it is a Shimano chain.
Ready, pop that cassette off, would you?
Again. Whoa, look at it from this side. All the way through the whole shell. Oh, is that even worth riding down on?
Hope's a good company though, they shouldn't see you stuck. In that right, Hope?
I hope.
I wonder if that was recording that whole time. It probably wasn't. Only a bit of a buckle. No freewheeling. Oh man, has that not been recording that whole way down? If that hasn't, that is so annoying. I'm starting to understand why Andrew had hatred for this GoPro. It's just the glitchiness. I think one of the things you learn when you're trying to make videos is you just want consistency. You want it to be able to depend on the kit rather than always second guessing whether or not it's working. Alright, this bit's totally not rideable. So just walking this bit. Not the most worth it trip for the riding. There's a couple of good sections up there, but this bit kind of upsets the flow a little. And then I broke my hub. Oops.
Okay, so that ride did not go anywhere near to planned. Broke a lot of things on the bike that I didn't think you could break, and the actual descent wasn't that great. So definitely not going to be going back there. Not necessarily a waste of time, that would have broken any time, but the main thing was that the fasted part of it worked really well. And for me that worked great. If you're intrigued about it, give it a shot for a smaller ride, see how you feel. It's the sort of fasting thing where you kind of eat between 1 and 7 p.m. and that's kind of your window. And it's a good way, if you are looking to try and trim down a little bit, it's a good way of doing that, but not having to restrict yourself in food types and stuff. It's just more on the time of day. And you might find that it helps your energy throughout the day. So, not the best, but do what you can. All right, we're gonna go for a swim.